So I'm doing a tarot card reading on Megan Thee Stallion and Pardison Fontaine. How their relationship is going. I heard that they might be getting engaged or that they are engaged. I'll be using my Modern Witch tarot card deck. How is Megan Thee Stallion and Pardison Fontaine's relationship going right now? How is Megan Thee Stallion and Pardison Fontaine's relationship going right now? So, the back of the deck, I got the Four of Pentacles. The cards will more so explain the back of the deck to me. I pulled the Eight of Wands first, the Six of Wands, the Judgment card in reverse, the Four of Wands underneath the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, so the first card that I pulled is the Eight of Wands, which is normally like a busy card, going places. Also could mean passion, having an exciting romance, a hasty marriage, moving too fast. The Wands are like the movement card. And then it came up next to the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is like a success card. You may feel good about yourself. When it comes to love, it can also mean happiness in love, cooperation within a relationship. So with those two cards together, it is giving me a vibe like maybe marriage could be in their future. A hasty marriage because they're so happy with their relationship, they feel successful. But right next to it, I get the Judgment card in reverse. So I'm getting these three lined up together. So with Judgment in reverse, it suggests that maybe she's struggling to make a decision, or they're both struggling to make a decision on it. Like, they want to get married, and they feel happy about their relationship for the most part, but they're unsure. The Judgment card is giving me they don't know. Sometimes when it comes to love, it can also mean that a partner is being too critical of you, which makes sense because it has seemed like maybe he's a little judgmental of her lifestyle, but I also feel like he's calmed her down. Like, that could be it. He might be a little bit critical of her lifestyle choices, and that might bother her. It might make her feel like, would getting married be the right decision? They're happy, they're in love. I pulled the Four of Wands underneath the Eight of Wands. With the Four of Wands, it means that everything is probably working out well. It's like a comfort card, stability. It's like a coming together, possibly a ceremony, a happy family card. You found peace, commitment when it comes to love. So seeing these two together definitely gives me a hasty marriage. They might actually get married. They might already be married. You know, all of this is allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, but these two together coming up is definitely giving me possibly a hasty marriage. But they are happy together, and it possibly could work out. Then next to that, I pulled the Eight of Swords in reverse. With the Eight of Swords, it possibly means that she needs to maybe change her ways, or somebody needs to change their ways in the relationship. I kind of feel like it might be Megan that it's talking about, but it could possibly be him too if he is being critical. to her or critical of her. And whenever I see this card, it always makes me think like someone feels tied down. And normally that card could mean you feel tied to that person. You might be afraid to be alone. Like maybe Megan is afraid to be alone. Maybe she's starting to get really comfortable with being with Pardison. So she prefer not to be alone. But once she gets married, she'll be tied to him for sure. With these two together, it's also giving me a successful relationship, but she still feels tied down. Like she's happy, but she knows she's on lock. I feel like Megan had a lot of freedom. She is an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. There's a thing we have where we like to be connected to somebody, but we also enjoy our freedom. So I feel like she feels like she's losing that a little bit. I feel like he's the most serious relationship we've seen her be in other than Moneybag Yo. Then underneath the Judgment card, I got the Five of Wands. And with the Five of Wands, it's in reverse. It's giving me maybe somebody needs to make a change again. Maybe both people need to change their behaviors. Otherwise, nobody's going to win. You know, it's a battle. It's like you're fighting a battle, but it's a losing battle. That's why it's in reverse. You have to change your ways. I feel like that might go for both of them because it came up underneath the Judgment card. You need to change your ways. Maybe don't be so critical of each other. In love, it also can mean like you might need to be more flexible in the relationship. Both people might have been being self-centered, and they both need to see things from each other's point of view, and I feel like that goes perfectly with this Judgment card that's coming up. So I feel like they could have a very successful relationship, but it's just that Judgment that keeps popping up. And of course Megan feels a little tied down. I think Megan feels a little tied down and a little judged. I think he probably feels a little judged too, but all in all, they could have a good happy family. Again, a pretty successful relationship, just they need to fix that judge. Then with the back of the deck, it is kind of giving me, I know Pardison has money, but maybe he might be getting a little dependent on Megan's money. Normally that's what you get when this pops up in a relationship reading. And it could also mean afraid to take a risk, like maybe they're scared to go all the way with the marriage. How does Pardison Fontaine feel about Megan Thee Stallion? How does Pardison Fontaine feel about Megan Thee Stallion? Okay, so I pulled the Knight of Swords. Next to that is the Nine of Cups in reverse. The Hangman in reverse. Underneath the Hangman in reverse is the Ten of Wands in reverse. Underneath the Nine of Cups is the Hermit upright. And underneath the Knight of Swords is the Knight of Wands. In the back of the deck is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So with the Knight of Wands upright, for how Pardison feels about Megan, it's giving me that he's passionate about her. Normally when you see that card, it's like a young man, normally somebody who's enthusiastic, but also has trouble understanding other people's points of views. It's a mental card, so quick-minded, which makes sense with Pardison because he's a writer. He writes for a lot of other people. He has the ability to write for females, so I feel like that makes sense, that he's probably passionate, very passionate about her. The next to it, the Nine of Cups. So with that in reverse, it gives a smug attitude. Maybe he feels kind of cocky about being with her, like he is passionate about her, but he's also probably cocky because he's with Megan Thee Stallion. So I mean, that kind of makes sense. the most people really knew him for at first was being Cardi B's ghostwriter, and he dropped a song with her. He is an artist, but he's getting a lot of show from being with her, and I'm sure there are a lot of guys in the industry that want to be with her, so he's probably being very cocky about being with her. Still proud, but cocky. Then the Hangman in reverse is giving me maybe he's making an unnecessary sacrifice. Maybe he's more into Megan than Megan is into him. That's maybe what that's giving me. He's proud to be with her. He's very cocky about it, and he's probably more into her than she is into him. Then I had the Knight of Wands in reverse. Now with the Knight in reverse, normally when that shows up, it could mean a message. It could also mean that when it comes to love, maybe there's a lack of trust. Maybe he's a bit fickle. He's not sure. Like, he feels very passionate about her, but he doesn't know if he can trust her, which makes sense because the media loves to like grab something that has to do with Megan to being with somebody else. So maybe he's nervous. She's always in the club. I think she kissed Young Miami one time. So maybe he's a little nervous. Like, he really loves her, but he still has a little bit of trust issues. Then next to that, I got the Hermit. This kind of suggests that maybe they might need to take a break from each other or have a little bit more independence. Like, he doesn't trust her, so maybe he needs to. Like, maybe that's what that card is. He needs to step back, like take a step back and trust her. Next to that, you get the Ten of Wands. This card sometimes means imagine burdens, or a burden has been lifted off of your shoulders. It could also mean that you might not be certain about a partner's commitment to you at one point, but now you are certain. And it could also mean maybe at some point he will, because it's all trust coming up with this one. So I feel like he doesn't trust her, he needs to trust her, and he might actually end up trusting her. Imagine burdens and self-sacrifice coming up right underneath each other. Like, he needs to let go, maybe stop being so uptight about it. He's really cocky about her, and maybe that makes him scared to lose her, so he needs to back off and give her some freedom. He's very passionate about her, but he doesn't trust her. So it's giving me that he really loves her, but he needs to back off a little bit. Then with this popping up on the back of the deck, I keep getting financial cards on the back of their relationship, which is very interesting, because that can mean that he's working hard at the relationship and not getting anywhere, or he's working hard in his career and not getting where he wants to be. It could also mean money problems in the relationship, or possibly some insecurities, which makes sense. It could be some money insecurities because Megan does make more money than him. So I think that might also have something to do with it, where he might feel insecure because she makes more money than him. How does Megan the Stallion feel about Pardison Fontaine? How does Megan feel about Pardison? How does Megan feel about Pardison? Pulled the Seven of Pentacles upright. The Two of Cups upright, right next to it. The Empress in reverse next to it. Underneath the Seven of Pentacles, the Lovers upright. Next to that, Three of Wands in reverse. Underneath the Empress, Strength card. And then the Four of Swords on the back of the deck. And I want to correct myself. I think I said the Lover's upright, but this is the Devil card upright. My apologies. So with the Seven of Pentacles, it's a financial card. It normally means that you're still not at the point you've gotten to in the work you're doing, but you should just be patient, you know. In love, it normally means that you might feel like your relationship is taking too long to get to the point where you want it to be, but you should just keep holding on. It's a card that's pretty much saying you're putting in work, you haven't got there yet, but keep working. So I guess maybe her relationship isn't where she thinks it should be at, but it's encouraging her to keep going forth with the relationship. Next to it is the Two of Cups. Getting this card pulled, the Two of Cups in reverse, is giving me disharmony between them two. Possibly maybe dwelling feelings. Maybe her feelings for him are not as strong as they were when she first started the relationship with him. I feel like maybe inequality as well, because she does make more money than him. A disharmony, sometimes cooling affections, or lack of balance in a relationship. So I feel like this card is telling me, like in his reading, that she kind of doesn't have the same feelings. Like, she does like him. She does want the relationship to work out, but I feel like she's like, it's taking too long for me to get the feelings that I need to get out of this relationship. Then the Empress in reverse. With the Empress in reverse, when it comes to a relationship, she might feel like she's putting too much of herself into the relationship, like an exhausted female, maybe overworked. So it's giving me maybe she feels like the relationship is taking too long to get to where she needs it to be. There's a little bit of disharmony going on, and she feels like maybe she's putting too much of herself into this relationship. So his cards were coming out completely different than hers. She might feel like she's putting too much into it. Then you've got the Devil card, which is normally an addiction. It can also mean you're chained to something, which also gives the addiction vibe. Sometimes it means you're in an abusive relationship or an obsessive or harmful relationship. So maybe she feels like he's a little bit obsessed with her. That's kind of the vibe it's giving me. Or maybe sexual desires. They're so focused on having sex with each other that they're not actually paying attention to whether the relationship will work out. Maybe she's more sexually interested in him than having a relationship. Like, I feel like she's waiting for more than just the sex, perhaps. That could be a thing. The Devil card came up next to the Three of Wands. With the Three of Wands, you're normally waiting for something. It could also mean that you're not quite ready to commit, perhaps, when it comes to a relationship. Like, you may feel strongly about that person, but you're not ready to commit to them yet. You're not ready to go that far. You're kind of stuck on the shore, which is next to the Devil card. So I feel like that makes sense to me. That she's not sure if it's just a sexual thing or if it's something real. She's not ready to fully commit. And it's under the Two of Cups, which she might not fully be ready to commit because there's disharmony in the relationship. Then next to the Three of Wands and under the Empress is the Strength. In reverse, it can mean you may not be listening to your instincts. With love, it could also mean you're afraid to take the extra step, or you're trying to act tough. Maybe put your ego aside, open your heart, try to make whatever relationship you're in work. So maybe because feels like she's giving too much of herself. She's not putting forth enough effort. Like, maybe she's not giving enough of herself. She thinks she is, and she feels exhausted by the relationship. But at the end of the day, she should just open her heart to him. With this being on the back of the card and seeing all of her cards together, it's giving me she feels a little drained by the relationship. She feels like she's giving more than she needs to, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. This card on the back of the deck also means she's probably been through a lot, but this is the calm after the storm. Like, she just needs to look in to herself, just relax, you know, don't move too fast. Like, when I was pulling their relationship card, it was saying that they're moving fast. Like, maybe they should just slow down and it won't be so bad. She just needs to carve out some time for herself because she is feeling a little discouraged in the relationship. But if she does take a rest, it will probably just restore her balance. Like, maybe they might need a little break from each other. That could be something. They seem to spend all their time together. It's kind of like he's her new security guard or something. He's with her 24/7. So maybe a break will help bring them closer together. And that was my tarot card reading on Megan Thee Stallion and Pardison Fontaine. I hope it wasn't too long for you. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything that I say is alleged. Just having fun with my tarot cards.